family, his companions, and all those who follow him with righteous and good deeds until the day of judgment. I would like to extend my thanks to the association for inviting me to deliver this speech and fatwa session at the end, inshallah. I'd like to thank him also for the introduction and for reciting the meaning of the verses in the Quran that deal with the month of Ramadan. Dear viewers, this Ramadan comes at a very different situation, and I might not be exaggerating by saying that this might be our best Ramadan in our life. Many people are worried that in this Ramadan we are missing many of the activities, whether it is religious activities or social activities. But let me remind myself and remind you what Ramadan is all about. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran, the main wisdom for the holy month of Ramadan, and that is to attain taqwa or piety, to be righteous. So it's a matter or a time of self-reflect. And that is why we can do that when we are less busy with life. Usually in every Ramadan we try to find excuses so that we do not do as much as we can in the month of Ramadan. There is work and there are gatherings and there are invitations and visiting friends and visiting family members and people coming over and so on. But this Ramadan is different. We are missing two very important things. That is the Friday prayer and the congregational prayer every day, and the Taraweeh Ramadan prayer in the night of Ramadan. And that's it. But on the other hand, we do have free time. And this is a special situation because we have a very beautiful hadith from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he says that there are two blessings that most people waste. They do not take their opportunities. Two blessings, which is health and free time. Nowadays, alhamdulillah, we have both of them. We are at our homes, healthy, alhamdulillah, safe, sound, and we do not have much work to do. Even if we are working from distant places, from our homes and so on, but we do have lots of free time. We have already saved the time of commuting to and back from work. We have also saved the time of the gathering and the request and frequent invitations and so on. How are we going to utilize all that time? This is the month of Ramadan. And that is why there is no excuse for anyone to be lazy in this Ramadan. You are at your home, alhamdulillah, everything is available around you, and you have the blessed month of Ramadan that you can utilize. So start by planning. If you haven't started already, you'll be a bit too late, but it is better not to wait the whole month of Ramadan. We are just in the very beginning of the month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah. Keep in your mind that reaching the month of Ramadan is a great blessing from Allah Almighty. We have a beautiful hadith from the Messenger ﷺ explaining that a person who lived only 1 year after his brother, they have done everything at the same time, similar things. The first one died as shaheed, the second one lived for 1 more year. But the second one was admitted into paradise first. The Messenger ﷺ explained because he had another Ramadan. He did more prayer, more sujood, more remembrance of Allah Almighty, and more dua. Time is very important even in the sight of Allah Almighty. You have been given more time in this world. This is a blessing from Allah Almighty. Utilize it. You are in the month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah. You do not know whether you will be there in the next Ramadan or not. We have so many people around us, our beloved ones, our friends, who were with us last Ramadan. We are missing them. They are not there now. They cannot do anything to themselves anymore. Why? We are still have that opportunity to do something for ourselves. So let us plan for utilizing the month of Ramadan. The least you could do to yourself is to recite the Holy Quran, the full Quran, 2, 3, 4, 5 times or more. In our early generations, we have in the Salaf among the early Muslims, people who used to recite the full Quran once in the morning, once in the evening. You are talking about full recitation, 8 hours plus 8 hours. You might think that this is very difficult. I am not saying that you have to do that, but at least recite the Holy Quran at least once in the month of Ramadan. This is very simple to anyone who wants to. This is very simple. It's not a difficult thing. All you need to recite every day is about 22 pages, 20 pages. And that's it. So if you divide that by the Salah, two pages before every Salah, 2 pages after every Salah, you have one more. You will recite the full Quran. You want to recite it more? Increase that number. Make it 3 before and every after, or make it 4 before and 4 after, and so on. So no excuse to be lazy in this Ramadan. Furthermore, the gates of charities are available and open moment, alhamdulillah, in the month of Ramadan. Even if you cannot leave out, you can participate in charities online. There are many initiatives. The most important out of which nowadays, alhamdulillah, the initiative of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Bin Rashid and Her Highness Sheikh to try to deliver 10 million meals to the workers who are stranded, those who are not having work. They are relying purely on this work, and that is stopped from them. So we need to relieve them from their difficulties and their hunger as much as we can. We can participate in that. We can participate in many other initiatives. Alhamdulillah, there are so many from authorized organizations in Dubai. We can participate in that. So no excuse. You're at home, but you can still do so much. And many people ask about you are missing the Taraweeh prayer, you are missing the Qiyam prayer. No, you are not missing. You are missing the Taraweeh prayer with congregation in the masjid. But you can still do Taraweeh by yourself. You can still do it with congregation within your family, not that. The prayer is there. If you are worshiping the masjid, yes, the masjid is temporarily closed. But if you are worshiping Allah Almighty, the Lord of that masjid, this is open. You can worship Allah Almighty anywhere. In fact, the Messenger ﷺ himself clarified to us that this whole earth is our masjid. You can pray anywhere, that is pure. Anywhere. No, you do not need anything special to be in connection with Allah Almighty. You need your heart, your faith, your concentration, your sincerity, and your willpower. That's it. So you can start by planning for utilizing this beautiful month of Ramadan. I can highlight in this very short speech some of the points that we need to keep in our mind about the benefits of the month of Ramadan on ourselves and on the whole society. First, we start our own selves. The first one, Ramadan teaches you to audit yourself, to inspect yourself. Think about your life. Where are you going? How close are you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Are you ready to meet your Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you will be pious, enough taqwa. So this is a reminder of that. Are we having enough taqwa in the sight of Allah Almighty or not? If you are not happy about yourself and your relationship with Allah Almighty, start by correcting that. You never know when the end will come. The second point that we benefit in the month of Ramadan is that it increases your willpower, your strength, your ability to say no to what you do not want, and your ability to say yes and go forward with what you want. Ramadan tells you that you should be in control, not your whims and desires, not your body, your mind. It's mind over body. This is something that is very essential, a very important lesson in the month of Ramadan. Let me tell you something about Ramadan is a worship that is basically passive. You have not to do something. You have not to eat. You have not to drink. You have not to have intimate relationship. That is the actual worship. But, on the other hand, is the exact opposite in the aim. You have to learn so much so that you will be in control of yourself. You have to control your basic needs. Hunger, thirst, the emotional needs, put them aside for a little while and be in control. That is why you find many people who outside Ramadan are very weak in controlling their whims and desires. But in the month of Ramadan, they manage to do that for the full day of Ramadan, starting from Fajr until Maghrib. For example, you find many heavy smokers, they cannot stay away from cigarette for more than a few hours at a time. Some of them are even less than that. Comes Ramadan, they stay cigarette free for the whole duration of the fast. Now the problem is that the moment they are breaking the fast, they waste all this benefit by going back to the same old habit. If you do that, you are not going to progress much. Imagine yourself trying to climb a ladder, so going one step ahead and then going back, down, and keep rotating like that, going 2 steps up and then 2 steps down. You are not going to progress. The idea is to benefit from whatever you learn in the month of Ramadan and carry that for the whole year. Another important aspect in the month of Ramadan is to actually show practical compassion. See, the month of Ramadan makes you taste how poor people live. You are hungry, but you are hungry for a few minutes, few hours. They live this way. Poor people are hungry throughout the whole life, throughout the whole day. And don't say that this is a choice. Here, this epidemic, coronavirus epidemic or COVID-19 epidemic, is showing us many lessons that we have not understood throughout the life. I say, some people say that being poor is actually a choice. It's not just a situation. It's not necessarily. Yeah, maybe for some people, this is a bad choice that they have made, or they are not making the right choices at the right time. But for many people, this is not a choice. This is a situation they are in. Like the workers who are laid off nowadays, what mistake did they do? Nothing. This is life. Life comes with many challenges, many situations. So in Ramadan, it's our duty not only to show compassion to them by our feelings, by our prayers, supplications, dua, and so on. All of that is good. This is important. However, we need to actually show practical compassion. We have to reach out. We have to give them from charity. We have to share with them what we have, whatever they are deprived of. Nowadays, this is a test for humanity. Is humanity going to stand together, take care of each other? Or are we going to be selfish, God forbid? Islam teaches us to reach out for those who are in need all the time. The Messenger ﷺ was the most generous of all people, but his utmost generosity showed in the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan teaches you practical compassion. That is why you have to do it. Many people, alhamdulillah, Muslims, give charity more than any other religion in the world, or followers and even atheists. This is great, alhamdulillah, because it's part of the religion of Islam. Many Muslims give their zakah in the month of Ramadan because they feel this closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And furthermore, we have zakat al-fitr, which is the obligatory zakah that we have to give. Every single Muslim has to give that. Even young children, you have to give it on their behalf. Every single one. This is the largest collective charity in the whole world. Every Muslim has to give approximately 20 dirham or so, either in food item or in money, to the poor and needy. Because the Messenger ﷺ didn't want any poor person on earth on that day, the day of Eid, by the end of Ramadan. Why we say this is the largest collective charity? Because you are talking about 1.5, 1.7, up to 2 billion Muslims on earth. You are talking about the approximation of 40 billion dirham given in charity on the span of 2 or 3 days. It's a great practice by Muslims everywhere, every year. This is one of the benefits of Ramadan on the whole society. Another aspect that we need to highlight in the month of Ramadan is to try to educate people around you, spread the knowledge, beneficial knowledge. We find many parents who are, alhamdulillah, mashallah, very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they do not educate their children about the benefits, especially of the extra activity to do in the month of Ramadan and otherwise. There are so many other ibadah to do, so many kinds of remembrance of Allah Almighty to do, many kinds of dua to do. Try to differentiate between your ibadah and Ramadan. Do not make it only one single ibadah or two single ibadah. There are so many ibadah to do. Most important out of all of them was given to us by the Messenger ﷺ. And let me conclude with this. This is very important guidance from the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are some people who are too lazy to stand up in the night and for prayer, for example. There are some people who are too stingy to give money to the poor and needy, and so on. You find so many people who are not that active, neither in this way or the other way. And they do not have the strength to stand against an enemy and defend Islam and Muslims. But subhanAllah, the Messenger ﷺ is telling us that there is still a way to get so much from God Almighty without doing any of that. So if you are too lazy to stand in the night prayer or spend so much time standing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praying, if you are too stingy to give lots of charities and repeated charities, and if you are too weak to volunteer to defend Islam and Muslims or to defend people who are in need now, volunteer to be on the front lines, like many of the great workers who are doing. We'd like to appreciate them from this stand. All the nurses and the doctors and the medical staff and all the policemen and people who are providing us and bringing sustenance to us so that we do not have to leave our places. Everything is around you, just steps away. Alhamdulillah. So if somebody is not ready to do any of that, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, let him say these 4 words, very simple things. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Just increase doing that. Say it a lot, at least. So do not be so stingy that you are not doing something even for your own self. Something that does not cost you anything. Does not require anything from you. Does not require even you standing up from your own bed. You can do it anywhere, at any time. You are driving, you are standing, you are waiting, you are relaxing, you are waiting to sleep, you cannot sleep and so on. You are waiting for food to be delivered, you are waiting, whatever it is, anytime, any free time, whenever you are having any glimpse of that. Say between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any kind of supplication or dua or remembrance. This is something that Allah Almighty loves, and Almighty is going to reward you for it greatly. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to deliver us to Ramadan, deliver Ramadan to us, and to accept it from us, inshallah, while we are safe, sound, and successful. We pray to Allah Almighty to guide us to His divine truth and make us good for ourselves and for people around us. And we pray to Allah Almighty to protect all Muslims and all humanity from this epidemic, from all trials and tribulation. We pray to Allah Almighty to seek refuge with Allah Almighty from leper and from weaknesses and from stinginess and from tiredness and from laziness and from all bad habits and bad characters. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to have good morals and good ethics and good etiquettes and to be good for ourselves and for our families and people around us. Ameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.
Jazakumullah khair. Dear viewers, we would just ask a couple of questions. If there is anything that you would like to ask, we would like to ask the Sheikh to throw some special light on anything that might be of interest to any of you. Please spend a couple of seconds and see if you want to ask anything in particular. Sheikh, would you like to throw some light on any special supplication during this special time?
Yeah. There are many dua that you need to keep in your mind, inshallah, for protection from Allah Almighty, from this and all trials and tribulation. This guidance was given to us by the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there are many steps. The first step, you need to correct your belief with Allah Almighty. This is showing us how weak we are as humans. This is showing us the strength and power from Allah Almighty and His control over this whole world. It is not necessarily a punishment from Allah Almighty. This is a reminder from Allah Almighty to humanity that we need to set our connection with Allah Almighty correct. And the Messenger ﷺ told us that when there is any health situation, we need to seek treatment. The Messenger ﷺ said, "O you who believe, the servant of Allah Almighty, seek treatment, seek medical treatment, because Allah Almighty did not put any disease on earth except that He has already put with it its cure. The cure is already there. We just need to discover. These are the words of the Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who does not speak from his own. It is a revelation revealed to him by Allah Almighty. And this is proving day and night, every time, that this is true. It is already there, alhamdulillah. Some people might naturally have defense against that, or immunity to these and others. And there are other people who need some help from the medical treatments and so on. The Messenger is guiding us to that. You need to follow all the instructions that are there. Take precautions. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam clarified to us. You need to first take your steps and whatever is in your power, and then rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do not say, "Wallah, it's all up to Allah Almighty. What is going to happen to me is going to happen to me," which is true. But you have Allah Almighty, the same God who told you to rely upon Him. It is the same God who told you, you have to do your business, you have to do your part, you have to do your duty. Allah Almighty is not there to serve you. Allah Almighty has put all the rules in this world, the physical ones and the others. So you have to take them and take the causes and take the reason, take precautions and so on. So you have to follow that guidelines. And this is also clearly identified or mentioned by Allah Almighty in the Holy Quran. And those to obey Allah Almighty and obey the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those who are in an authority. The authority, the authority is telling you do that, you have to do it. God Almighty is telling you that. It is the same God who told you to obey Allah Almighty, obey Him, and to obey His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Furthermore, after that, you need to return back to Allah Almighty with the supplications and the dua. So after taking all these precautions, you have to believe that Allah Almighty is there. Allah Almighty does not want to harm you. Whatever choice Allah Almighty is making for you, it is for your own good, whether you know it or not. You have to look at the positive side of everything. These are positive times to think about that. Or these times are very important to think positively. This is going to pass, don't worry. Life is going to be normal inshallah soon. However, we need to benefit from this. This is a lesson for this generation. So we need to benefit from that, not waste this opportunity. Now, some of the supplication that the Messenger ﷺ told us, the most important out of which is the daily supplication in the morning and the evening. Especially the moment you wake up and saying the supplication of waking up, start with the supplication of Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim 3 times. In the morning and in the evening, the Messenger ﷺ told us. So after finishing the Fajr prayer and before sunrise, try to say it 3 times. It will take just half a minute probably. In the name of Allah Almighty, with His name and with whom nothing can harm, neither on earth nor in heaven. And Allah Almighty is the one who is all hearing, all seeing, and all knowing. So repeat this supplication and this dua 3 times. In the morning, as we mentioned, and in the evening, after Asr and before sunset. Another important dua is to ask Allah Almighty for al-afiyah. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah fi dunya wal-akhirah. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah wal-ma'afata al-da'ima fi dini wa dunyaya wa ahli wa mali. And the rest of this application, asking Allah for al-afiyah, means protection from any trials and tribulation or bad effects that might happen. Another important supplication from the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, اللهم إني أعوذ بك من البرص والجنون والجذام وسيء الأسقام. Allah Almighty, I seek refuge with you from labor and from the mental sicknesses, that is craziness, and from the plagues and the effects of the plagues, and from all bad diseases. Bad diseases means chronic ones and problematic ones that there are no cure for, or the cure is very difficult, and so on. So this is a very beautiful supplication. There are many others, but these are the 3 most important to make or repeat during this time. We pray to Allah Almighty with them, inshallah, and we pray to Allah Almighty to protect us from all of that.
Sheikh, another question has come in that Ramadan teaches us the lesson of patience. So, what would be your message during this current situation for people to practice patience?
Yes, true. Ramadan is a month of patience, and Alhamdulillah, one of the positive side effects of this epidemic is that problems are much less, crimes are much less, and even family disputes and so on are much less. People are getting to know each other, even our families. We were so busy in our hectic life, we didn't have time for our families and our own children. And we are suddenly noticing that they are grown up and they have so many activities and we are not that attached. So this is a good opportunity to bring all of that together. Now when you bring all of that together and you are with each other 24/7, of course there are going to be some issues and misunderstandings and conflicts, especially that some of the husbands would like to, for example, supervise everything. So they are now standing as supervisors in the kitchens and the hallways and the gardens. That is probably something that the women don't like. But anyway, you need to give room to each other and or space, and you also need to control your anger or your desire to give your input directly. There's no, this is no time to have such dispute at all, because nobody knows whether he's going to live after this or not. You do not know, God forbid, if somebody is going to pass away within these times. You don't know. So imagine having a dispute and, God forbid, losing a beloved one shortly after. How are you going to live your life? How are you going to sustain that? This is a huge trauma. So save yourself from all of that. Make this time enjoyable to everybody. Of course, there is pressure on everybody, without any exception, even on our children, the teachers, the workers, the family workers, and the whole household and everything. So we need to remind ourselves of the importance of patience that Allah Almighty does. Remember, the reward for patience is beyond count. Allah Almighty says, verily Allah Almighty reward those who are patient without accountability and without count. Nobody knows how much. So we need to, inshallah, teach ourselves all that. One way, there is a practical way to try to train yourself to be patient. Because being patient needs training, lots of training, repeated reminders. First, try to take a pause before saying or doing anything. So if there is a situation that you don't like, you would like to give your input, take a break of few seconds. For example, recite Ayat al-Kursi or recite Qul Allah Nas before giving your input. Certainly say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, I repeat it, because Shaitan would like to make dissensions within the family and break the relationship apart. And by the time you are taking that pause, you will have relaxed from the impulse to give something, and most likely you are not going to say or do something that you will regret or bad. Keep in your mind, whatever you say or do when you are angry, you are going to regret it. You are going to regret it at two different occasions. You will regret it in this world, and you will regret it in the hereafter. Guaranteed. When you are making a decision, saying anything, doing anything, when you are angry, this is not the best thing you can do for sure. So remind yourself of that. Another way to train yourself, imagine that you are being supervised by someone. Imagine if there is a camera now, telecasting or directly broadcasting you live to the whole world or to everybody that you care about. What are you going to do? Are you going to react in the same way? Or are you going to react in a different way? Now if, you see, the idea is there are persons who are actually witnessing you. You have at least two angels with you who are witnessing everything that you say, whatever you do. And above all of that, and before all of that, is Allah Almighty Himself. Allah Almighty is witnessing you. Is this how we'd like Allah Almighty to see you? So you keep that in your mind, inshallah, you will learn to be patient. May Allah Almighty make us all, inshallah, patient.
Ameen. Jazakallah. As usual, listeners, I think you would agree to this fact that Sheikh, mashallah, gives very handy and practical suggestions to our common day problems. Inshallah, we'll all be able to practice and learn from this session. And inshallah, before we close this session, I would like to thank the Community Development Authority and Mohammed Bin Rashid Centre for Islamic Culture and the media and all the viewers, plus personal thanks to Sheikh for giving his valuable time for this valuable sitting. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks again to all the Pakistan Association Dubai people for organizing this session. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.